So, I did historicals a few weeks ago, but they were classical. John Jakes and Mishner and Thornbirds. Those historicals. These are more modern day historicals. And I will post the link in the description of the other video. I did not that video, but a book that I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to post the thing in the description here. It was done in 2023. It was one of my earlier videos. The sound is a little low, so you're going to have to crank it up. But it's one of my favorite books. You are still putting... Come here. Come here, Sandy. Come here. I can't play bally with you unless you bring me your ball. She brings my husband the ball, this little itty bitty thing, all the time. I get the ball, I throw it. She never brings it to me. She wants me to play with her, but she never brings it to me. So what are you doing? What are you doing? Come here. Not working. So, I will post the link in the description. I did it a couple years ago. It's one of my favorite books. It's my top 2 favorite reads, besides my J.D. Rom. When I talk to people, I'm forever. I recommend both these books several times a week. Whenever I get a chance, I'm recommending these 2 books. But anyway, we've gotten off topic here. So I'm going to do historicals again, but this is a little more modern day historicals. And these are, and I've got another one coming up in a couple weeks. I went down a rabbit hole with this search. I went through, I was looking for one thing, and I ended up in a rabbit hole of another one. So I was like, oh, I've got enough for 2 videos. So we'll do 2 videos. This is the first one. These are mysteries involving history. Historicals involving history. And it's If Then 71. Retired Army Ranger John Halliday has thwarted the plots of Rex Deuce, the 21st century incarnation of the Templars all over the world. Now the lost journal of Percy... Shall we try this again? Retired Army Ranger John Halliday has thwarted the plots of Rex Deuce, the 21st century incarnation of the Templars, all over the world. Now the lost journal of explorer Percy Fawcett leads Halliday into South America jungles and a Templar mystery. Trailed by an infamous tomb raider and menaced by a tribe of hostile natives, Halliday and his crew uncover 500-year-old society hidden in the cauldron of the Amazon. Descendants of the Templar Knights, they only exist to hide and protect the holy artifact taken from the original Temple of Jerusalem by the first Templars, the legendary Ark of the Covenant. There have been movies on this guy, so I just thought I'd throw a couple of them in. The Da Vinci Code. And there's no... There's no synopsis back here. An ingenious code hidden in the works of Leonardo da Vinci, a desperate race to the cathedrals and castles of Europe, an astonishing truth concealed for centuries and veiled at last. Inferno. Harvard professor of symbol Robert Langdon awakens in a hospital in the middle of the night, disoriented and suffering from a head wound. He recalls nothing of the last 36 hours, including how he got there or the origin of the macrame object that his doctors discovered hidden in his belongings. Langdon's world soon erupts in chaos, and he finds himself on the run in Florence with a stoic young woman, Sienna Brooks, whose clever maneuvering saves his life. Langdon quickly realizes that he is in possession of a series of disturbing codes created by a brilliant scientist, a genius whose obsession with the end of the world is matched only by his passion for one of the most influential pieces ever written, Dante Alighieri's dark epic poem, The Inferno. Let's do these before I forget. Doug Preston, The Codex. Greetings from the dead, declares Maxwell Broadbent on the videotape he left behind at his mysterious disappearance. A notorious treasure and tomb raider, Broadbent accumulated over $500 million worth of priceless art gems and artifacts before vanishing, and along with his entire collection from his mansion in New Mexico. At first, robbery is suspected, but the truth proves far stranger as final challenges to his three sons. Broadbent has buried himself and his treasure somewhere in the world, hidden away from an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. If the sons wish to claim their fabulous inheritance, they must find their father's carefully concealed tomb. The race is on, but the three brothers are not the only ones competing for the treasure. This secret is so astounding it cannot be kept quiet for long. With $500 million at stake, as well as an ancient Mayan codex that may hold a cure for cancer and other deadly diseases, soon they join the hunt, and some of them will stop at nothing to claim the goods. Glenn Cooper, The Secret of the Seventh Son. There are secrets that must remain buried. 9 people have been slain in New York, 9 strangers with nothing in common. The apparent victims are frighteningly elusive serial killer. Only one thing links the dead: postcards they received mailed from Las Vegas announcing the day they would die. Assigned to the case is a legendary FBI profiler with a troubled past, a drinking problem, and nothing left to lose. Abandoned to a monastery in an unwanted son born under a curse on the 7th day of the 7th month of the year 777. Unprepared for a momentous discovery is a post-World War II expedition into the crypt of a clandestine medieval society. But all led to a secret embroiled destiny, evil and corruption, and one terrifying truth that no one must ever know. Brad Meltzer, The First Conspiracy, The Secret Plot to Kill George Washington. Taking place during the most critical period of our nation's birth, The First Conspiracy tells a remarkable, previously untold piece of American history that not only reveals George Washington's character, but also illuminates the origins of America's counterintelligence movement that led to the modern-day CIA. In 1776, an elite group of soldiers were handpicked to serve as George Washington's bodyguards. Washington trusted them, relied on them, but beknownst to Washington, some of them were part of a treasonous plan. In the months leading up to the Revolutionary War, these traitorous soldiers, along with the governors of New York, William Tyrone and Major David Matthews, launched a deadly plot against the most important member of the military, George Washington himself. In the historical page turner, New York Times bestselling author Brad Meltzer turns up with American history writer and documentary television producer Josh Mensch to unravel the shocking true story behind what previously has been a footnote in the pages of history. Let's see what happens there. Covenant of the Iron Cross. Gary McVoy. When Vatican archaeologist Marcus Russo uncovers the fabled Nazi gold train buried deep within the Owl Mountains of Poland, he expects to find a forgotten trove of looted treasure. Instead, his heart a chilling codex that points to a dark and dangerous legacy. Operation Eisenkranz, a Nazi plan to seek chaos and power across the globe along with their fall, but Marcus soon realizes the secrets are only the beginning. Shadowed by an elusive and ruthless faction known as the Covenant of the Iron Cross, Marcus and his allies, Father Michael Dominic and journalist Hannah Sinclair, must race against time to stop the Covenant. As Marcus pieces together the Codex fragment clues, he discovered it holds more than history. It holds the key to a network of hidden Nazi caches and an unfinished plan that could shift the global balance of power. But the Covenant will stop at nothing to keep their secret buried, infiltrating even the highest echelons of the Vatican itself. From the war-torn archives of Rome to the frozen death of Eastern Europe, Marcus, Michael, and Hannah are drawn into a treacherous game of cat and mouse whose every discovery raises new questions. Who can they trust, and how can they keep the Covenant influence? This is by the same guy. I'm gonna do it anyway. The VIVALDI cipher. During the election of the new pope in the 18th century, famed violinist Antonio Vivaldi learns of a ring of forgers who are replacing the Vatican's priceless treasures with expertly painted fakes. Desperate, the composer hides a message in a special melody, hoping someone someday will take down the culprits. Nearly 300 years later, the confession of a dying mafia don alerts the Vatican priest to a wealth of forged paintings in the Vatican Museum, and the key to their identity lies hidden in a peaceling pause of music. Father Michael Dominic, prefect of the Society of Archives, investigates, is mystified when he finds a cipher in an old composition form from Vivaldi. Desperate to stop this centuries-long conspiracy, he calls on his fellow sleuths Hannah Sinclair and Dr. Levi Gallo, a music cryptologist, to help him crack the code and learn the truth. But Cameron and his centuries-old Italian mafia clan won't stand by, while some interfering priest ruins their most lucrative operation. Along with the French commander with 2 valiant Swiss guards, Dominic explores the dark canals and the grand palaces of Venice to uncover the evidence he needs to stop the sinister plot. Will he do it in time? Cosmo Keys, an archaeology thriller of lost civilizations. Glenn Cooper. Deep beneath the ruins of Turkey, underneath a city of Dirkenkrew, an archaeologist, David Burke, makes a discovery that defies history. A bronze device covered in Greek inscriptions, its mechanisms impossibly advanced for its time. The artifact shouldn't exist, and yet an intricate design suggests a terrifying truth. Someone in the distant past understood the future. Desperate for answers, David seeks out Eleni, a brilliant historian of ancient technology, as they decipher the artifact's origins. They stumble upon an astonishing legend that Michael Perpini, the Destiny Machine, a device so powerful it was hidden from the world, tied to the secrets of the gods and capable of glimpsing what's to come. But they are not the only ones searching. A secretive cabal willing to kill to keep the machine's secret buried is closing in. From the shadowed ruins of Athens to the tunnel between Nottingham, from hidden crypts to modern-day power struggles, David and Alida must unlock the truth before the machine falls into the wrong hands. Wasn't this different guy? The Last Templar, Raymond Curry. In Hall of Fire and Flashing Sword, as the burning city of Acre from the hands of the West in 1291, the Last Templar opens with a young Templar knight, his mentor, and a handful of others escaping to the sea, carrying mysterious chests entrusted to them by the Order's dying Grand Master. The ship disappears without a trace. In present-day Manhattan, 4 masked horsemen dressed as Templar Knights emerge from Central Park and ride up Fifth Avenue steps of the Metropolitan Museum of Art during the black tie opening of Treasures of the Vatican exhibit. Storming the crowds, the horsemen brutally attack anyone standing between them and their prize. Attending the gala, archaeologists test, check, and watches in silent terror as the leader of the horsemen hones in one piece in particular, a strange geared device. He utters a cryptic Latin words as he takes hold of it with reverence before leading the horsemen out and disappearing into the night. And the FBI's got to investigate. The relic. A golden relic has been stolen from its hiding place beneath an ancient monastery. For centuries, people have been searching for the treasure and the clues it holds to the most sensational religious cover-up of all time. One determined to man sets out to reclaim the groundbreaking artifact from the thieves and to unravel its complex codes. But will he succeed in his quest for the relic? And will he solve the mystery behind the origin of the Shrine of the Sacred Secrets? The Order. Legendary spy and art restorer Gabriel Allon has slipped quietly into Venice for a much-needed holiday with his wife and 2 young children. But when Pope Paul VII dies suddenly, Gabriel is summoned to Rome by the Holy Father's loyal private secretary, Archbishop Luigi Donati. Billions Catholics faithfully have been told that the Pope died of a heart attack. Donati, however, has 2 good reasons to suspect the Master was murdered. The Swiss guard who was standing watch outside the papal apartment the night of the Pope's death is missing. So, too, is the letter the Holy Father was writing during the final hours of his life. A letter that was addressed to an old friend, Gabriel. Secrets. Secrets. What's the rest of it say? This book is long suppressed gospel that calls into question the accuracy of the New Testament's depiction of one of the most potent events in human history. For that reason alone, the Order of St. Helena will stop at nothing to keep it out of Gabriel's hands. There we go. The Temple Code. The Temple Mount Code. An old friend summons linguistic professor Thomas Lords to Jerusalem to examine an ancient text. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei wants the same document. Khamenei and others believe the book contains a secret that will allow its owner to rule all of Islam and wage a global jihad like which the world has never seen. Arriving in Jerusalem, Lords discovers that his friend has been murdered and his apartment ransacked. With the help of Miriam Abed, a beautiful Jewish Iranian graduate student, he races against the clock to find the dangerous document. Let's see what happens there. Chris Kuzinski. While on vacation in Malta, Jonathan Payne and David Jones bump into an old friend who has come to the islands to search for a long-lost treasure of the Knights Hospitallers, an organization that dates back to the First Crusade in 1099. When Ivan Volker, the leader of the Russian crime syndicate, is betrayed, he is willing to do anything to get retribution. Protected by a team of hackers and henchmen, he travels to the Mediterranean where he leaves a trail of bodies in his wake. Before returning home, Volker learns about the ancient horde, one with possible ties to Paul I and the Russian Empire. With pride and riches on the line, he focuses his wrath on the only people who stand in his way. But Payne and Jones refuse to back down as they try to locate one of the most important treasures of antiquity. How new is this? This feels really new. 2018. James Rowland, Rebecca Cantrell, The Blood Gospel. An earthquake in Mossad, Israel kills hundreds and reveals a tomb buried in the heart of the mountain. A trio of investigators, Sergeant John Stone, a military forensics expert, Father Kuhn Koretz, and a Vatican priest, Dr. Aaron Granger, a brilliant but disillusioned archaeologist, are sent to explore the Maghreb Discovery subterranean temple holding the crucified body of a mummified girl. But a brutal attack at the site sets the 3 of them on the run, thrusting them into a race to recover what was once preserved in the tomb's sarcophagus, a book rumored to have been written by Christ's own hand, a tomb that is said to hold the secrets to its divinity. The enemy who hounds them is like no other, a force of ancient evil directed by a leader of impossible ambitions and incalculable cunning. From crumbling tombs to splendid churches, Erin and her 2 companions must confront a past that traces back thousands of years to a time when ungodly beasts hunted the dark species of the world, to a moment when Christ made a miraculous offer, a pact for salvation for those who were damned for eternity. Interesting. In the Pines, Kendra Elliott. A national treasure hunt with $2 million prize has driven obsessed fortune seeking to overrun the small town of Eagle Nest, Oregon. The hunt's crypt clues, the law of the wealth have exposed the desperate side of human greed, theft, fights, trespassing, and even the motive to kill. Police Chief Truman Daly craves peace in his town, but has a murder on his hands. Now the biggest prize isn't the only thing hiding in the pines, so is the killer. Just did that in for extra. Now, the number one book, the book that I consider the number one book of all these books, just because the subject, just because I'm with the Daughters of the American Revolution, and the guy proclaimed in this book as paying for the American Revolution is an established patriot with the DAR. So the stuff in here is true. He took some true elements of history and embellished a little and made a story out of it. But some of the key elements in this book are true. They happened. And it's just so fascinating. I am forever recommending these two books to people almost on a weekly basis. Whenever I get a chance, I am recommending these two books. And I did a video for both of these books, and I will put the videos links in the description below. Fingers crossed I remember. But the first book is Steve Barry's The Patriot Threat. Did you know that a French guy paid for the American Revolution? Do you know about the secrets on the dollar bill? It's just so an amazing book. And it's really, really awesome. Cotton Malone, a member of an elite intelligence division within the Justice Department known as Magdalen Billet, is now retired and owns a bookshop in Denmark. But when his former boss, Stephanie Nell, asked him to track down a rogue North Korean who may have acquired some top-secret Treasury Department files, the kind that would bring the United States to its knees, Malone is vaulted in a harrowing 24-hour chase that begins on the canals in Venice and ends in the remote highlands of Croatia. With appearances by Franklin Roosevelt, Andrew Mellon, a curious painting that still hangs in the National Gallery of Art, and some eye-opening revelations from the dollar bill, this riveting non-stop adventure is a trademark of Barry. This is awesome. And it will also be reviewed in the April 2015 RT book reviews. So it will come up again. And we will talk about this book. I will be talking about this book forever. I am just talking about it forever. And this last book, it's not in the same lines as these others, but it deserves, whenever I get an excuse to talk about it, I like to talk about it, because this is another book that I am forever bringing up to people. The Lost Apothecary. This woman is supposed to be celebrating her wedding anniversary with her husband in London. The day they're supposed to leave, or the day before they're supposed to leave, she catches him in bed with a relative. So she goes on this thing by herself, and she meets this elderly guy outside her hotel room. I forget what the name of it is. It doesn't say. It says it in the book. They call these people and they let them walk through the things, and they let them take stuff off the surface. No digging, but just take things off them. She finds a lost apothecary little bottle, and she traces the history of it. And because of where the shop is located, it's down a long alley, it's back in the corner, no one pays it the slightest bit of attention. It's been ignored for 200 years. when she finds it in the exact condition the previous owner left it in the day they walked out 200 years ago. Their records, the formulas, the herbs, everything is in the exact spot the original owner left it in 200 years ago. Their journals, their logbooks, everything is exactly, it has been completely and 100% untouched in 200 years. How awesome. The books alone, the records. While they are not genealogical records, they could be census records to prove who lived in that neighborhood during that particular time period. In 18th century London, a woman of hidden apothecary and its mysterious owner Nella, who sells well-disguised potions to use against the oppressive men in their lives. Nella's dark world is no place for her newest patron, a precocious 12-year-old named Eliza Fanning, but their unexpected bond sparks a string of consequences that echoes through the centuries. 200 years later, aspiring historian Carolyn Parswell is running from her own demons when she discovers a clue to London's unsolved apothecary murders. Caroline, upended present, soon collides with an explosive history binding her fate to Nella's and Eliza's stunning twist that transcends the barrier of time. This is such an awesome book. You have to check it out. I hope you enjoyed some of these historical mysteries. They are just awesome books. I just love history. I love genealogy. I love mysteries. And history and mysteries is just awesome. Maybe you found something. I hope you did. I hope you have a good day.